Tēnā koutou katoa and welcome to Harvest TV Rotorua. Today we're looking at the story of a young woman travelling with a team of young people using drama and performing arts to communicate the wisdom of faith to the youth of New Zealand. We'll also check in on some high schoolers as they take their first steps in dance and vocal expression, and we'll catch up with two well-known Kiwi musicians.
Our theme today is displaying God's glory. The psalmist writes that the heavens declare the glory of God. In other words, when we look at the stars, we get a glimpse of how amazing, how wonderful and how powerful God is. Apostle Paul wrote to the Romans that God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what is made, so that men are without excuse. Paul is saying that everything that God has made, everything in creation, makes it plain that God exists.
And in the same way, every human being is designed by God to display his glory. We're designed by God to show to others what God is really like. Someone has summed this up by saying, every person is like a cathedral. Cracked cathedrals, but cathedrals nevertheless. A cathedral is usually an impressive building whose architecture inspires people to look up and to worship God. The cracked cathedral description acknowledges that our personal failings and weaknesses mean that we're inadequate to fully show what God is like, but nevertheless we still do display his glory. Isaiah 61 records that those who were once broken-hearted or were prisoners of darkness or were filled with grief or mourning or despair, that when any of these people encounter the Spirit of God, they will be transformed. And they will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendour.
Today we're going to hear the testimony of Amohia Afeaki, who recently toured New Zealand as part of Excel's School of Performing Arts. Amohia lost one of her best friends to suicide, which triggered an emotional roller coaster in her life. But her faith in Jesus brought her through. We're also going to meet up with a group of high school youth who attended the Extend workshop, a Kimiora Community Trust initiative using dance and vocal tutoring to develop and extend performing art expression. And R&B gospel singer TJ Taotua performs here in Rotorua too. But first, let's catch up with Amohia and hear what she has to say.
It's not true. That's just the excuses that you hide behind.
We're not lying. Well, not this time.
I grew up in South Auckland in Mangere Bridge, which is the less shady part of Mangere, so that's why I say Mangere Bridge. And I went to school at Te Kura Māori o Ngā Tapuai. I love that school because I did kapaka like my whole life there. And it went from year 1 to year 13, so we knew everyone at school, got to grow up with your classmates, and yeah. And I did, I used to do netball like most of my childhood, gymnastics, Sea Scouts, which included like camping, rowing, sailing, so it was good fun. I'm the oldest of 3 younger siblings, and my dad's Tawake Afeaki and my mum's Hine Pāwhiro. I learnt from my mum like all the life skills, how to cook, clean, how to look after kids and not let the anger and frustration take over you. My dad taught me that you get the most satisfaction out of serving other people, and because that's like pretty much his life job is serving others. Spending time with them camping. There's this one place that we went to like 3 or 4 years in a row up north at Matodi Bay. Sometimes we'd go there for like a month camping, and I just had the best time. We'd like swim all day, boogie boarding, snorkeling, going diving for kina and paua, and yeah, those are I just have the best memories there.
So these are our vocalists, Cyril and Amy.
Hey, I'm
Hello.
Cy.
Yeah.
I did a musical productions with Scouts, and that's where my passion for the performing arts started. I loved the singing, the dancing, the acting, I just loved that I could be someone else, and yeah, it's just so much fun. And yeah, and since then I just think that's like one of the things that I really want to do in life is like performing.
I'm Invisibelinda because I'm invisible, and that's my name, and I'm sort of the stuck-up one, which is quite sad because that's not me.
And I lost one of my best friends to suicide one year, and that was like, at the time it felt like one of the hardest things I'd ever have to face. And yeah, and I'm quite an emotional person, so when something really awesome happens, I'm like on top of the world, happy as, and then when something bad happens, I like fall right down, and it's just like I'd get into a pattern of like ups and downs, and it was just like exhausting and overwhelming.
No signs of doubt. On your marks.
But deep inside me,
Get set.
there's more than an ounce.
Go. Hurry, look up. There it is. The bright shining in the distance.
When I became a Christian at Excel, and so before that, like, I would just, I don't know, my mum would like help me, motivate me and stuff. She was really good, and but like the pattern would just keep repeating. But after I found God at Excel, I found that in those low moments, I could ask God what He wanted me to learn in those moments, and it made it easier, more bearable.
Because mental preparation quickly leads to mental degradation. Should I lead or should I follow? I need some water because this pill called life.
So Extend is all about young people having the opportunity to work on their skills. So they get to upgrade their skills in either dance or singing. So we've got the 2 workshops, and we have amazing tutors so that they have the opportunity to grow, to get better, to experience an industry level workshops. So that's why we run Extend.
Never let you go, never let me down. Oh, it's been a hell of a ride, driving the edge of a night.
So what I enjoyed about this event is basically seeing all these kids come, and they're so passionate about what they love to do. They love to sing and dance at the dance workshops as well, but the ones that I was running, the vocal workshops, are just, you could see the kids they love what they're doing. They love to just express themselves through their song, and I love just watching them kind of experiment with their voices. Some of them would get really shy, but then I would watch them come out of their shell a little bit more as the day would progress and as the workshops would progress, and I've really loved just watching them kind of break out.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we're not gone. I got sunshine in my pocket, on my feet,
I think the thing I most enjoyed about this was that our whole youth group and everyone came close as a family, and we became more of a family, as well as learning other talents and stuff like dancing and singing. And we got to work with really cool tutors and work with each other, and that was really good because everyone came closer and we all got to know each other's flaws and strengths and develop on that.
All the time has come for my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside and turned.
Young people have a lot of talent, and so I believe that an event like this gives them opportunity to upgrade that talent, to showcase the world what we have in New Zealand. So we want to give the world a standard that's high class. I believe that starts with young people and giving them grassroots opportunities to experience industry talent, coming and teaching.
I came to join Extend because it was from during youth, Amy got up and told us about Extend and about Dallyce and about Jessie, and telling us like we can choose singing or dancing, and we get to like grow more on that, which one we choose. So yeah, I found out through Amy, so I chose not dancing, I chose singing.
We love you. And then whatever your thing is. You're going to get the whole audience during this part. Volunteer job.
The other people I think who would benefit from this event would definitely be other teenagers just around Rotorua, around the region. Definitely their friends, other students, people of all ages, probably going up to the young adult age, and even as young as like primary school age can benefit from these workshops. Absolutely.
So we hope over this weekend that for the young people that have been involved, that they have been challenged, that they've come up in another level in their skills, their understanding in terms of what it takes to actually be able to take singing or dance to a world-class stage. So we want them to walk away understanding that it might be a passion, it might even be a talent, but it still requires an extreme amount of hard work.
Youth book out the Cook Island Community Hall on a Friday night, so we thought, awesome, bring him here. We'll host him. Yeah, so that's how it all started.
Was really blessed that we were able to create an environment where people could have fun, you know, and recognise a lot of old school R&B songs that we grew up with. But we could also create an environment where people could worship and enjoy the presence of God in the place as well. So that was a really encouraging thing for me, is to see everybody just get into it.
The main point of tonight is really just honouring the Lord and what He's about to do in our city in Rotorua. Yeah, I think it's a good event for everyone, like the community, to come along and expressing Jesus through music. I think that's a perfect way of expressing the Lord.
There's a lot of people out there committing suicide and doing violence and drugs, so we need these type of people to encourage them to go to church. And yeah, so I had no choice to go to church, but then I ended up having to accept it and throw away my old past and kind of make a new one. So that's the reason why I went to church, and it was to better myself as well.
Inside, the sound is just absolutely pumping, and that's what our youth love. That's all we love. But it's quite a shame that youth don't even get to experience it because it's in a club somewhere.
Even more of a blessing to see a lot of young people come through and catch up with us afterwards, as well, and just share how they've been blessed by the message tonight. So if one person was blessed tonight and a seed was sown, our job's done, and we've been really blessed to engage with the Rotorua community, and we're excited to come back again in the near future.
God existed before I came to Excel and before I became a Christian, but I didn't know what it meant to have a relationship with him and like what it meant to know him and like that you could talk to him and all that.
Heart is thumping, clock is ticking, in my mind, the pressure's building, the pressure's building, the pressure's building.
To know me fully and understand me and be able to, you know, just love me fully. But then I realised that only God can do that because he knows you, he knows everything about you. He knows your fears, your dreams, the good, the bad, everything about you. So he's the one that can give you the best advice.
Separation quickly leads to mental degradation. Should I lead or should I follow? I need some water because this pill called life.
What I love about being a Christian is that I know that I'll always be accepted and that there's that God has a plan for me and that he will always be there for me if I only like ask for him, if I only just talk to him and listen to him and what he has to say. And like I said, what I love about it is just it makes those lows so much more bearable when you have someone by your side helping you out.
Seriously? What are you doing? You're not fast enough, man.
You're not pretty enough. Not strong enough. Not slim enough.
But enough is enough. Enough with the lies. Enough with the compromise. Turn. Look up. Can you not hear me? The one who drew your purpose-filled lines.
I would recommend Jesus to others because, you know, this world is so hard to do on your own, and there's so many worldly things like comparing yourself to others, like expectations of people, family, like there's so many things that can get you down easily, but with like Jesus, you can just be yourself, you can be free and know that you're accepted.
He needed you to fill a hole that no one else could ever fill.
He put those desires in your heart.
If he could have fulfilled them, he would not put them there in the start.
To lack belief in yourself.
Is to lack belief in him.
Remember, doubt is from the enemy.
When you know Jesus, you can learn so much more about yourself. And when you learn more about yourself, you can fill yourself up with his love. And then you can give it out to others. And that's like how you get the most satisfaction. Is you can be loved so deeply and also you can love others so deeply. And that's just the most beautiful thing.
That was beautiful, Amohia. With Jesus, we sure can be free and know that we are accepted. And we get to display God's glory even in the midst of difficult times. In fact, while none of us like the discomfort and pressures of difficult times, it's often in those tough times that our faith in God really grows and shows to others. And I'm sure you enjoyed meeting up with TJ Taotua and hearing him express his faith in Jesus through his own unique style. And wasn't it great to see the youth as they attended the Extend workshops, as they grew in self-confidence and learned some new performing arts skills? They had the privilege of learning from two very skilled tutors.
And the very best tutor that can help us display the glory of God is, of course, Jesus himself. Jesus lived counter to the religious leaders of his day. He challenged them for retreating into man-made religion, for replacing the faith in God with just a bunch of rules and regulations. He confronted their hypocrisy and their self-serving attitudes. He pointed out that many from less desirable backgrounds were embracing the kingdom of God while the religious leaders stood on the sideline and criticized. Jesus coached his disciples to love and trust God and to love others. He taught them to put God first in everything, and then everything they needed would be given to them. Jesus healed the multitudes, cast out evil spirits, forgave those bound in sin, and set them free. He told his followers, "If you've seen me, you know what the Father is like." Now that's really displaying God's glory.
Very soon we'll be listening to Steve Apirana in another one of his famous blues originals. As you listen to Steve, we want to really encourage you that you also are designed to display God's glory. Jesus' heartfelt prayer just before he went to the cross shows him praying for the unity of believers and revealing that relationships between believers is a key way that displays the glory of God.
We want to thank you for joining us today, and as we close, it's our privilege to pray with you. Lord Jesus, we thank you that you've designed us that we can show your glory to others. Help us to get to know you more and more so that we may more ably do that. And Lord, that we would be pleasing to you and know your blessing and favour on our lives. We ask and pray this in Jesus' wonderful name. Amen. And so for my wife and I, and on behalf of the churches of Rotorua, remember that in God, the best is yet to come. God bless.
Battle Bay, Nelson and LA. I looked for you in Trinidad. I got loaded down, kinda lost my way. They said that I just missed you, but they didn't say when you'd be back again. Back again, yeah. Come in long ago, could have saved myself a lot of shame. Shame. I should have come in long ago, could have saved myself a lot of pain. I thought you'd make it harder for me to turn around, start again. Start again. I should have come in long ago. Many years I walked past your door. I should have come in long ago. Many years I walked on past your door. Well, I thought you'd make it harder, and I still had on my town clothes, and I couldn't find my P's and Q's, and I thought you'd